The parents were grieving, and their grief was terrible to bear, both because of the depth and sharpness of their sadness, and because I knew that if anything horrible ever happened to me or Tom, our mother would never grieve for us that way. I wasn't sure she would grieve for us at all. Love is a burden, Tom told me once, that time when I almost got eaten by a sea serpent, and our mother laughed as she told the Fae court about it. Tom had been the one to save me, and then to hold me tight as I coughed up water. But when I came to him sobbing over our mother's lack of caring, he had pressed his lips together impatiently. The other side of love is pain. I saw that pain now as I walked through the shabby gray streets of Hamelin. It leaked from every window in this small, dusty town, glared from every tear-streaked face that watched me pass. I understood that grief. For weeks now, I had been missing my brother, a constant, empty ache under my heart. I knew how powerful that anguish was, because it had led me to do the unthinkable, to leave the realms by myself and come to the human world to find him. And I would find him. I would. No matter what had happened to him, no matter what he had done, I would find him and we would be together again. But I had never imagined that I was going to find this. Not my brother, but the pain he had left behind. And the only thing that made it bearable was the determination I clung to. I can fix this. I didn't know for sure if that was true, but I forced myself to believe it because there was no other way I could have made it down that eerily silent street, up the stairs of the grandest house in town, and into the mayor's office. The mayor's office was actually the front room of his house, which says a lot about how often Hamelin's yearly elections resulted in a change of mayor. Mayor Herman, I'd been told, had been the mayor for over 20 years. It would probably help if someone occasionally ran against him, but since no one ever did, the ballots generally had two choices: Herman Jeremson and somebody else if we can find someone qualified and willing, which is unlikely. Written on the ballot, just like that. I'd seen one stuck under a grimy wellstone, left over from the last election. Not the most democratic of places, Hamelin. Not that it would have helped much if it had been. The mayor's office reeked of stale tobacco, and his face shone with sweat. He sat upright in his brown leather chair, brow furrowed as if he was in control of the situation. But I, of all people, could recognize tightly controlled fear. He had been the one who hired my brother as a rat catcher. He had been the one who refused to pay the exorbitant fee. Any moment now, the people's grief would turn into anger, and they would remember who was responsible for the tragedy that had overtaken their town. They would be wrong. My brother had come for their children, and he would have found a way to take them even if Hamelin had a smart and honest mayor. But nobody knew that except me, and I certainly wasn't about to tell Mayor Herman. The mayor looked up as I entered. He drew in his breath, and I wondered if he recognized something in me that reminded him of Tom. If he was remembering the last time a lanky, dark-haired child had walked into his office and offered to solve his problems. I hoped not, but I had to be careful, just in case. Mayor Herman, I said and curtsied. His eyes widened in astonishment, from which I gathered that it was not customary to curtsy to mayors. Human etiquette rules were so confusing. I am here to help you get Hamelin's children back. Are you? He sat back, regarding me with sharp blue eyes. And what payment will you ask in return? I had expected either joy or disbelief. I knew then that something was wrong, but I couldn't think fast enough to change my plan. No payment. I only want to make sure the children are unharmed. Can you tell me which way they went? The mayor leaned forward as if listening, but his eyes flicked to the door behind me. Too late, I realized what was happening.